Hello, everyone. Hello, Patrick. How are you?
I'm very good, my friend Ekhoe. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. And
I hope
we
you're
are here
enjoying.
again today.
I hope you're enjoying the snow, the first sign of
Oh
winter.
my. Oh my. Funny enough, it's not the best of weathers for me here. I prefer, moderately cold, not just too cold. I don't like when it's too hot, like some time in the summer though. But
Wow.
winter is definitely not it for me. What about you?
Well, if it has cold in the name, that's not me.
Oh, really?
I don't want. I like it hot. That's why the best time of the year for me is summer. I love summer. Now, not Las Vegas hot. Remember, what it was last year or 2 years ago, we were in Las Vegas for summer. Man, that hotness is like being in an oven.
Oh
I
my,
cannot
I
stand
can
that
imagine.
hotness. I know, I
I
know,
can
I
but
know.
imagine.
But,
Great. I mean, we are here
excellent.
again today to do justice to everything that has to do with AI and all of the buzz of
Mhm,
it as well.
mhm.
All right. Hello,
Looking forward
viewers.
to it.
Yes, great. Thank you very much, Patrick. Hello, viewers, listening and viewing audience. Thank you so much for another exciting time with Patrick. And this is the Informanos Weekly AI Analysis, the show where we explore the world of AI. We talk about what's happening, what's coming next, and what's in it for all of us. And I'm your host, Ekhoe, the AI enthusiast. And today we're going to be looking at some topics. We've been quite sequential with how we come up with our topics, except for the last one where we just picked up a topic that we felt was the buzz of the moment. But for today, we're going to follow up in our stead, like how we've been doing it, just to follow up with our previous conversations. And I'll just urge our audience to go check our previous conversations so that you're able to properly follow up with this particular episode and others that will be coming along the line. And so, for today, we'll be looking at the technology under the hood. And of course, we have the best person to have this topic unwrapped in the person of Patrick. And once again, Patrick, you're welcome to today's episode.
Thank you very much, Ekhoe, and looking forward to the conversation.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And so let's get to it, Patrick. Now, the last time you actually talked about large language models. You talked about it here and there, but now we're going to tie it to other topics, and that's why I really want us to start with it still. Um, Again, just for those that are, watching us for the first time today, what are large language models, and how do they actually learn from data? Let's just break that down before we continue, and I'll give you the next week. So, thank you.
Absolutely, happy to help. And so, when you think about large language models and how they learn, you have to go back to discussion about machine learning and neural networks and how machine learning works. And so, think about a student who is exposed to all the textbooks in the world. They have read every single textbook, every single article, every single write-up in the world. Think about the internet. The internet houses every information, almost every information about every single topic. If you talk about medicine, I'm sure you can find articles and textbooks and write-ups about medicine on the internet. Any field, any endeavor, any challenge, you can find information about those things on the internet. Now, there are some things you cannot find on the internet. For example, information specific to a company. Let's say a company has some internal policies. You may not be able to find it on the internet if those policies are kept securely internally in that organization. And so think about a student who is exposed to every single information available to mankind on the internet. And so by being exposed to that information, they're able to learn about topics and more importantly, learn about patterns. They understand, they don't just memorize, but they learn about how words and ideas connect. And so when you ask a question for that student, they're able to predict what comes next based on everything they have seen before. So let's say, for example, if you ask a student who has learned everything on the internet, you say, hey, I'm thirsty and I need a cup of dot dot dot. Well, they're going to go into their memory and remember, okay, when I've seen thirst and cup of, what follows next. And based on probability, they might decide, well, I think he will need a cup of coffee, and he will say, well, you need a cup of coffee. But now, if you provide more context, you say, I just finished running 5 kilometers and I'm thirsty, I need a cup of dot dot dot. That student is able to go back into their training, look out for patterns, and see that whenever somebody has run a long distance and they're thirsty, they're more likely to drink water than drink coffee. And so, so if you think about a large language model, you think about an AI that has been trained on all the information that's available on the internet, so they understand patterns, they understand how words connect, and so they're able to predict what comes next based on everything they have seen before.
Very well, thank you very much. And from what I can understand here, we're talking about with these trainings, we're talking about originality. I think that's what comes up. It's not a one size fits all kind of reproduction of the learnings. It's all about tailoring these learnings to suit a particular request or question that might be, or prompts that might be given to um, the machine. Thank you very much, Patrick.
You're welcome.
Now,
You're welcome.
you kept mentioning a while ago. My son was about coming to co-host with me. I think our audience would see that. So he's my intern, and I think he was just actually coming to see. This is not his session, so I had to send him away. Thank you.
Well,
Uh,
maybe one of these days.
yes, yes, yes. Of course, he'll be a co-host. Very well. Thank you. All right. Now, I mean, the basis of the conversation that you've actually put forth is the fact that there's always a training, and then there's the learning part as well.
Hmm.
Now, can you explain concepts like training data and tokens in simple terms? Because these will be recurring terminologies that we'll be having on discussions as regards AI very much. So, in simple
Absolutely.
terms, do justice to training data and tokens in simple terms.
So let me start with training data. I mean, if you think about, I mean, Ekhoe, I'm going to ask you a question. Think about your undergraduate degree
Mm.
and all the things you've learned. Question is, what percent of all the things you've learned or you learned in your undergraduate degree have you used since you started your career?
Yeah, you've actually asked me this before in one of the episodes. I think I was magnanimous to say I think about 5%, and you said it was even too much. Uh,
So if you think about, so let's say you finish from your program and you start working in a company, one of two things may happen. You start in the company and they say, wait a minute, before you start working, we have training. We're going to spend 2 months showing you how things work here. Okay, we're
mm,
going to spend time telling you how our systems work, how things work before we put you out there to work with a customer or to handle stuff. And so you go through a process of training. And during that process, you discover that all the things you've learned from university, maybe a few of them are applicable to your new workplace, but the training gives you context, gives you the ability to have information that you need so that when you start working in your job, you have data in your head that you can say, okay, I've seen this before. Okay, I've seen this before. I know how to handle this. I know how to approach this customer based on the training that I've been given over a
mm,
2 month period. Now, that's what you call a machine learning, supervised learning. Okay,
mm,
and in that, because there's a training that is provided to the algorithm or to the system before you now expose it to new information. Okay, now On the other hand, I'm sure you have some jobs where you start working and you're thrown right into the job and you have to figure things out by yourself. And so as you're doing your work, you're figuring out, oh, okay, this is how we handle this is how we handle that. You're figuring it out yourself. I mean, it's a bit more stressful because you're not even sure if you're right or wrong, but you're
Yeah.
figuring things out by yourself without any formal training. In machine
Very
learning
well.
terms, that's what you will call unsupervised learning.
Mm,
There's also one more aspect, which is called reinforcement learning. And so think of reinforcement learning like this. Think of, you start working in a company and then you're thrown into the sales team, okay? And you're told, Ekhoe, you're on the sales team in a bank. Your goal for the next 6 months is to bring in $1 million. So you've been
mm,
given a goal, $1 million, and it's not up to you to start thinking about the actions you need to take to achieve that goal. You may think to yourself, well, I have a friend called Patrick, and he has some friends who are millionaires. Okay, I'm going to call them. Hey, Patrick, how are you doing? I just got a job. Are you able to job with the bank? I want to raise $1 million. Do you have some money you want to put aside in my bank? Or do you have friends that have money to put aside? And so
mm,
you are deciding on the best course of action in order to maximize an objective and achieve a goal. Somebody else may decide, somebody else in the same position, thrown into the same position and told, bring in $1 million. And then they remember that they have an uncle that passed away and the uncle left them $2 million in his will. And so their course of
mm,
action is to go to the bank,
mm,
present themselves as the late uncle's nephew or niece and pick up that money. You see, two different people, their action was taken in such a way to achieve a specific goal to maximize an objective. That's reinforcement learning. And so when you talk about training data, it's really going back to the example of supervised learning is information or data that the system is trained with so that it recognizes patterns, connections, and is
mm.
able to use that learning and apply it to a new environment or a new set of data.
Thank you very much. And then the other aspect of it, which is the tokens, I'll just
Yes.
talk briefly about that as well. Thank you.
Absolutely. So think of tokens. I tell people that just like you have English language, you have Spanish, you have Yoruba, you have Hausa, you have Swahili, you have all these languages. Think of tokens as the language of LLMs. So tokens are really small units of text. So how do we communicate with LLMs like ChatGPT? We communicate with LLMs through prompting, where you put in
Mm,
information and you're asking for specific outputs, and then it generates a response to that prompt. Okay,
mm,
and so when you prompt something, you put in information in text, it breaks it into tokens. So, for example, you may have a text like "How are you?" "How are you" can be "How are you?" with spaces, that's like 4 or 5 characters,
mhm, mhm,
but the LLM can break it into how, one token, one token, you, one token, and period, another token. So from the LLM perspective, that's four tokens. And so
mm.
tokens are really small units of text. They can be whole words, they can be part of words, or even punctuation. When the model is processing text, it breaks everything into tokens, analyzes the relationship between them, and uses that understanding to predict what comes next. And so both the input and the response are handled or managed by the LLM as tokens.
Very well, thank you. I mean, you just explaining all of this. I was just thinking of a further layman explanation I could give. And I think my mind just registered the fact that it's like digestion. You know, when you eat, the food is digested into simpler units that the body can actually absorb. I think that's what happens when we mention token as regards machine learning and all of that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Now, you made mention of GPT, Chat GPT, and I think I just want to, start with that. Now, how do generative pre-trained transformer. By the way, that's what GPT stands for, audience. Generative pre-trained transformers. Now, how do models like the GPT differ from the image-based models like Midjourney and Standard Diffusion? How do they differ? Stable
So
Diffusion, sorry. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Again, the difference is really on the training data, on the type of data that they are trained with. I mean, models like GPT are trained on textual data, which allows them to understand and generate human-like language. In
Hmm.
contrast, models like, let's say, Stable Diffusion or Midjourney are trained on large sets of images and visual descriptions, enabling them to produce new images based on textual prompts.
Hmm. Now, I like that. So one is image based and the other is text based, if I may put
Textual,
it like that.
yes, yes,
Okay,
absolutely. So even though
great.
they're using similar underlying uh, architecture, neural architecture,
Hmm.
one specializes in language generation, large language models, and the other specializes in visual creativity.
Oh, I see. Thank you for doing justice to that. Now, we're just going to talk about applications and opportunities. Now, what industries are seeing, the most exciting transformations due to generative AI?
Yeah, I think again in several different industries, there was a survey that was done earlier this year, and I believe based on the survey, 70% of small and medium-sized enterprises are using generative AI to create content. And so,
Hmm.
if you think about marketing, if you think about AI being used to create personalized content, to help with ad campaigns, to create blog posts, messages, and outputs to customers. And so, that's one use case, that's one area where we're seeing a lot of use of AI within an industry and across multiple industries. Because if you think about marketing is relevant across multiple industry. But in marketing, you see AI being used significantly to create content. Another area where you see AI being used is in healthcare, where it's assisting doctors in summarizing medical records, drafting
Hmm.
reports, and supporting diagnosis through pattern recognition. Financial institutions are using generative AI to enhance fraud detection, automate document review, and even improve the customer experience through intelligent chatbot. And so instead of calling up a customer service agent, you can have a conversation with the chatbot, and it gives you the same level of information, if not more, than what you will get from a customer agent. Again, depending on the complexity of the inquiry. In education, we're seeing AI driven tutoring systems. We're seeing AI being leveraged for personalized learning. And we're also seeing AI being leveraged by teachers to help them craft curriculum and deliver exceptional experiences to their students.
Very well. I mean, you actually just encroached into the next question I was going to throw at you, which is good. I like that. And you made mention of the healthcare vertical and also education, and you made mention of business as well. So, I mean, these are areas where generative AI could, are actually of huge, huge assistance as we speak. Thank you. Now, for healthcare, I could see there's a lot that's been talked about as regards AI. I think it's been said that the way it is now, AI is able, I think there is one that's able to tell from urine or something, could actually let the person know if there are hidden diseases, something, could always, forewarn about. Could you just touch a little bit on this discovery?
Yeah, I again, I'm not a medical professional, a health
Hmm.
professional, so I'm not able to dive deep into it. But
Hmm.
what we're seeing is that in the health sector, in the medical space, AI is now being able to support medical discovery by enhancing or expediting the ability to discover patterns,
Hmm.
to discover correlations and also to infer causations. And that's helping in the area of drug discovery. I mean, you mentioned urine and being able to determine or decipher possible diseases as a result of analyzing a person's urine. Again, I haven't read much into that, but it's not
Okay.
surprising to me because with AI, you're able to detect patterns quicker, infer correlations and causations faster than humans can.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, leading on to my next question, which is actually the fear. A lot of people have this fear that AI has actually come to, take away jobs. We all hear all of these insinuations. Now, do you think AI is actually going to be of assistance to humans, or it's going to replace certain work areas of humans? Just to wrap up with this, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, great question. So when I think about AI, I think about the industrial revolution. And think about 40, 50 years ago, we were using typewriters. If you could type, several words per minute, you were like, you were sought after. Okay.
True.
And so think about the transition from typewriters to laptops. And that's what I see with AI, And so in some cases, AI will replace some jobs. Some jobs will be done better, faster, quicker by AI, which is good because that frees us as human beings to focus on more value add work, to focus on solving more complex problems. In other
Mm,
instances, AI will be collaborating with humans to do work faster because in a lot of instances, you still need that human loop. And so AI becomes a collaborator, a colleague, a support staff, if you say that, to help human to be more productive and to achieve outputs quicker. And so I think there are certain instances where AI can do something better and replace human, and there are other instances where AI has to collaborate with human to get an optimal output.
thank you very much, Patrick, for your time. Once again, you've done justice to these topics. And for our audience, now you see the value of these sessions because we learn, right? And learning is infinite. There's just a whole lot that we need to learn, and we have to be abreast with what's happening in the AI world. Now, for today, we've actually learned about tokens. Learning what's it called, training data and all of that, and machine learning and all of these concepts, and the industries that are the most beneficial with the use of AI, and also, breaking that myth of what AI is really here to do, whether to help humans or to replace humans and all of that. I know it's still going to be a subject of debate, even as newer discoveries come up every day. So now, these are just a tip of the iceberg as regards these sessions that we bring to you every week, the Infomanos weekly AI analysis. Now, stay tuned, everyone. Please like, subscribe, and share this particular page, and stay tuned with us for more exciting episodes. Thank you so much for your time, and until next week, I'll say goodbye for now. Thank you, Patrick. Have yourself a good day, good
Thank you
evening.
very much.
Thank you.
You
Cheers.
too. Bye.